How's it going today? This week's word of the week is going to be storing cylinders, actually 2 words. The reason I chose storing cylinders this week is because I had a guy, there's probably a lot of videos you can do on storing cylinders, right? But I had a guy that asked me, why are the acetylene bottles all the way on the other side of the shop from the other bottles? And I said, well, there's a certain distance you're supposed to keep, and I got it written here, your fuel gas away from oxygen. The reason that they want the fuel gas away from the oxygen is if the fuel gas ever catches on fire, you don't want the oxygen to give way and then feed the fuel gas. I mean, it'll take a fire and turn it into an inferno, right? Because oxygen feeds the fire, right? So you got to keep them a certain distance away. Now, does anybody know how far that distance is? I thought, and I went around and I started asking people, and I was positive it was 35 feet, 99% sure. 35 feet was in my head. I'm going to write that down right here, just 35. And I went around and I asked a bunch of people and got, got different answers, but finally somebody said 35 feet. And I thought, perfect, at least somebody knows the distance. Well, I went back to make sure and looked it up, and it wasn't 35 feet. So think about that for a minute and try and figure out what you think the answer is. We're gonna give it to you here in a minute, but we're gonna go to an exception here. I wrote up here, exception. You can have it closer if you have a 5-foot wall. I didn't write the 1/2 hour here. Burn rated wall. So it has to be a 1/2 hour burn rated wall that's 5 foot if you go closer to that distance. So that's basically going to be like a brick wall, right? A cinder block wall that goes up and separates your fuel gas from your oxygen. So let's lift up the board here and give you the answer how far away your fuel gas should be from your oxygen. I got 20 foot written here and then 35 foot with a question mark. And the answer is 20 foot. If you got that right, pat yourself on the back, I guess. It's supposed to be 20 foot away, a minimum of 20 feet away from keeping your fuel gas close to your oxygen, right? So 20 foot minimum. So now I got down here 35 foot. Why did I think 35 foot? Because I knew that it was something. I didn't just come up with this out of nowhere. So what I did is I started looking into the book a little further, and 35 foot is the minimal distance that you're supposed to be from flammable materials when you're welding or cutting. So the 35 foot does mean something. It means you got to be at least 35 feet away from flammable materials if you're welding or cutting. You can go closer, but you're going to have a fire watch, so somebody standing there with a fire extinguisher ready to put anything out if something should happen. So that's where the 35 foot came from. So for today, for the word of the week that we're talking about cylinder storage, 20 foot would probably be a better word of the week because that's what we're talking about. It's got to be 20 foot when you're storing fuel gas and oxygen. It has to be a minimum of 20 feet away to store that stuff properly. So that's all we got for this week. Thanks for watching and subscribing to TV Weld, and we're going to hit the ditch and get out of here.